Welcome to Community Insight. I am your host, Reverend Dr. Rodney Coles. We're here bringing information to the community, and we're praying that you have your pen and paper ready to receive this type of information. Again, welcome to the broadcast. Today we have a special guest, and also not just a special guest to you, but a special friend of me, and his name is Mr. Robert Williams. And Mr. Robert Williams have a whole thing, a lot of things that he's doing, and I am honored to be around his presence. This morning, I don't know what time you watch it. I'm going to say greetings. Greetings, Mr. Williams. Greetings. How are you doing, Mr. Williams?
I'm doing good, Pastor Cole. I really appreciate you inviting me back onto your show. It's always an honor and a pleasure to be a part of this discussion.
Yes. And Mr. Williams, you do a whole lot. So we're not going to be able to get it all in one breath, but we want to. I mean, I know there's an event that's coming up.
Yes.
Which is going to be April the 8th. That's coming up, and that day there where you're doing something for the community. First, I want to tell you thank you because It's very important for me to help the community, free information, business opportunities with you're working and things that can help them. I mean, that is the whole reason that I believe that the Lord have us here.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that you may hear this over and over. You know, service is the rent we pay for the space we are here on this earth.
Totally
so we're here, and I want to thank you. But let's just speak a little bit about the things you're doing.
Okay.
And then we're going to come in about the event that you're going to take place.
Yes, we'll do. Pastor Coles, I own and operate Williams Marketing. We're located at 1206 South Evans Street here in Greenville. And we are a financial service provider firm. And we provide tax preparation, life insurance, health insurance, notary services, family planning. We do a lot of free seminars for churches around budgeting, around family planning, college planning, and things like that. So we're located at 1206 South Evans Street here in Greenville. But I'm excited about the event that's coming up, Pastor Coles. It's been such a pleasure working with you, and I've noticed how churches' outreach really reach out into the communities and provide people food and supplies and things like that. And I'm excited about really connecting with you, Pastor Coles, because there's a saying, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, but you teach him how to fish and feed him for a lifetime. And I've seen how you've gone out in the community and really provided food and substance for people. And now partnering with you under this program called Life Impact, we're not only now giving them food, but now we're really teaching them how to fish. And that's what Williams Marketing is all about, is how do we go into a community and provide information around budgeting, around insurance planning and health insurance planning to not only give them something for a day, but change their whole lifetime. I'm very appreciative of the person that really set me aside, Pastor Coles, and really taught me that, not just gave to me, but really set me down and ministered to me and really taught me how to do things. But the event is coming up tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. And Pastor Cole should be sending out the link through the Community Unity Network. And it's called Life Impact. The reason it was termed Life Impact is because, like I said earlier, it's just not giving people a fish, but it's really teaching them how to fish. And this is what this is about. And what Life Impact is really partnering with nonprofits and everybody in the community, Pastor Coles, to bring information around health insurance and life insurance. So what we'll be talking about two things. We're talking about health insurance because I don't know if a lot of people are aware of it, but the Affordable Health Care Special Enrollment Period has just been extended.
Wow.
Typically ending around December the 15th. But because of the coronavirus, thank God that President Biden has really opened up that re-enrollment, and now people that need health insurance can enroll in health insurance all the way up until August the 15th of this year.
Wow.
So if there's any people in your network, any people in the in our community that really need health insurance, that missed that initial enrollment period, it's a great opportunity to come in and get that insurance.
Yeah, Mr. Wayne, you hit a lot of key points, and I thank you for that. One is that it's so important to teach people how to better themselves, and the things that you offer, and it's like budgeting,
Yes.
budgeting,
Yes.
understanding the finance, how to work your money.
Yeah.
And I might say this, I might upset a few people, but there've been a lot of folks that just got their stimulus money. And the
Oh.
question I asked, did they budget their money? Did they put their money on the side, or did they just go out there and went shopping and the money came, and I thank for the president and Congress to approve that. For those folks who was able to get that, and for some people, it's been a blessing. My understanding that I was with Miss Wanda when he was on the broadcast. If you had children. And I know one woman had about 5 children, so she gets $1,400 times 5.
Times
I mean,
five.
I'm calculating that with me, so I'm not going to do the math.
$7,000-8,000.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes I think that people don't understand about budget, and a lot of people don't understand about health insurance and how
Yes.
important, and I wish I had a good friend named Don Brown. I got plenty of guys that I worked in funerals, dealing with funerals, and I said one thing, I'm going to bring one of them here to talk about, because people don't realize how important is having funds put aside and having money for that. So there's a health. You got to make sure your health is right.
Yes.
It's amazing how we would go. We would buy a new car or lease a car, and we'll take it to the dealership for the oil change and make it look pretty at perfect shine or whoever we're gonna take it at. But we won't take care of ourselves.
Yep.
We'll do that, and that's very important. And having health insurance,
Yes.
and the way that y'all guys are working with Life Impact
Yes.
is making sure that people can get that.
Yes.
And it's available for them.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
is a big thing, and you need that.
Yeah.
But also dealing with people saying with time. Listen, we all gonna leave here. Let
Yeah.
me tell you something. Lazarus. The first time Jesus brought him out, but the second time was the Undertaker. You know what I'm saying?
true.
We all leaving out of here.
That's true.
But the problem is, are we doing like that movie Invitation to Life? Are we setting up our end?
Wow.
As a person gave a presentation, he said your end should be your beginning.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That is so
your
true.
end should be your beginning. Or we're setting up that we're leaving here, or we're just walking around and skipping the loo on the yellow brick road looking for somebody else to help us and not setting these things up. But it's very important, Mr. Williams, that people get insurance.
Yes.
People understand life insurance.
Yes.
And people understanding how to work the money. See, a lot of times people still working for money.
Yeah.
So the money working for them.
That's true.
It's
That's-
opposite. Sometimes, Mr. Williams, people think they own the house and the house own them. You
That's
think you own the car and the car owns you.
Yeah.
It's a psychological balance if you don't balance it out, Mr. Williams.
That is so true. That is so true, Pastor Cole. One part of Life Impact is this program we call Dignity and Respect, Pastor Cole. And this is all about life insurance and final expense insurance. It's amazing how people will pay money to protect things that may not happen. I've got insurance on my car just in case somebody run into it. I've got insurance on my house just in case it catches a fire or it floods. But I don't have any insurance on my life. And I know that's going to happen. But I take my money and I spend it on things that may happen. Instead of taking that money and putting it on something that I know is going to happen. One of the things in Life Impact, and I can't say this enough, Pastor Cole, emphasize this enough to our community, dignity and respect. My grandfather used to tell me, your name is more than money. Today's time, we're experiencing so many people passing that don't have these systems in place. And one of the things we try to teach is there's a difference. When people say life insurance, there's 2 pieces of that, Pastor Cole. One is I call it life insurance. The other component I call final expenses. Life insurance to me is for the living. Life insurance is for the living. Final expenses is for the dead.
Come on.
And I tell you, life insurance around term insurance to cover my mortgage. Insurance to cover me just in case my grandchild needs to go to school and something happens to me. I want to leave something behind for that. That's insurance. But at the end, I need to have money set aside to take care of my final expenses. GoFundMe is not a plan for final expenses, Pastor Cole. And being a part of our church, I've seen so many instances where people have come in and a loved one has died and not have insurance in place. I go around to people's homes now. I target people from 60 to 85. And I tell you why, Pastor Coles, because a lot of times we come out of college and we go and work for these industries or organizations. And at the organization provides life insurance for us. So for 30 years, I started 25 and I worked there for 30 years. And during that time, I have insurance. But when I get to 60 or 65 and I retire, I walk out of that company with a retirement benefit, but I walk out with no life insurance.
That's right.
So instead of now having to purchase life insurance when I was 25, I've got to purchase life insurance at 65. And you know, with time and health, as we get older, our health is may be impacted. So the cost of it is higher. So I've gone into so many homes of 60 and 65-year-olds where the insurance is not there. And the Bible tells us we should leave a legacy, an inheritance for our generation. And that's a part of Life Impact. We really want to come in and talk to families about how do you protect your house. If something will happen to you today, do you leave a debt or do you leave a deed?
I like
Many
that.
times, Pastor Coles, we leave debt. Do we leave happiness or do we leave horror? Believe it or not, after someone passes, Pastor Coles, the grieving processes start an hour after that person passes. The first thing comes to a person's mind, oh, I've lost my loved one. The second things come to mind is, did they have insurance?
That's right.
And that answer, whether you have insurance or not, at that point, determines if that grieving process is going to be good or is that grieving process going to be bad. 7 out of 10 people, no matter what race, 7 out of 10 people aren't adequately insured. You know, I've gone in so many people's homes and say, well, I've got insurance. I had it for years. You should check your insurance policy every year because your situations in your family changes. So that's what Life Impact is about, man. Just not giving people a fish, but really teaching people how to fish. Yeah.
You know, you hit a lot of key areas as well. And as I'm listening, it's like you have insurance. And I know you have a program that works along with, certain things on insurance and certain things to work with people that, you can set things up and knowing how your whole funeral could be, things like that. Because, and I'm like an advocate for the community as well as listening to everybody, what they say. Because, some people, some people probably feel like, why should I get insurance? We pay all this money for insurance just in case something happened. Maybe the insurance should be giving us back somebody, the money we pay that. And those are areas that, as Life Impact trying to explain, insurance is very important to knowing about the insurance because I say this is that you have, I'm just going to go backwards on a few things to try to touch people's brains. When you buy a brand new TV, do you want insurance? Do you, on this computer, we have a 3-year warranty, do you want insurance?
First question.
This washing machine, a dryer, whatever appliances you may buy, would you like insurance? Renting a U-Haul truck, do you want insurance? So we say yes. Why? Because to protect ourselves for anything. And I would say that there's a lot of organizations that I know and have been explaining to them, even with nonprofit, they don't have no insurance. They don't have board insurance. In case somebody to mess up. They don't have general liability insurance. In case somebody fall or hurt themselves. And they come back to you. But to come back, what I was saying, Mr. Williams, is that as the people say, well, do I really need insurance? The answer to the question is yes. The answer to the question, are you checking your insurance? And you also mentioned a point, which is true. I could be working at a corporation for years, which I haven't. They give me my pension, which they give me everything that comes with it. I don't, the insurance leave, the health insurance leave, Mr. Williams. And your life insurance leave. And those, for most people are working today, believe it or not, you're working for your health insurance.
That's right.
They working because you can't go to the doctor. I had to get some medicine, because I pay a copay and I pay a low copay of $10. I have my insurance, but the point was The medicine was $900. I said, for this here, $900.
It's amazing.
So I mean, most people are dying, Mr. Williams,
Yes.
because they can't afford the medicine.
That's true.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
But, and so you need to have insurance,
You
health
definitely-
insurance. You need
definitely.
to be set up with life insurance.
You do.
And you're right. A lot of people don't check it. I was a good friend of mine. We went to school together, and he lost his wife, and not just lost his wife, he lost his child.
Yeah.
When he lost his wife, I just figure, hey, you go to the funeral, blah blah blah. He had no insurance. I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of shocked. Like, I said, man, this guy here, this guy is shot like a blade,
Yeah.
man. Me and this guy, in school together. This
Yeah.
guy's. You didn't have, I said, okay, your wife died. Then when his daughter passed away,
Wow.
I would think that the light bulb should have turned on. We gave you some, we did a collection for your wife.
Yeah.
But now we can do a collection for your daughter. So I said to myself, if them two don't have no insurance, doggone, he don't have no insurance
True.
either.
That's true.
And they don't look at that. And they leave these, instead of leaving an inherit for your family, you leave them a burden.
A burden. And that's the whole point, Pastor Cole, is there's a responsibility that we've got to take on, that I've got to leave something for my wife and my children. My children should not struggle. My wife should not struggle while I'm here and struggle after I'm gone. I mentioned 7 out of 10 people. 7 out of 10 people. It didn't mention your income level. 7 out of 10 people don't have adequately life insurance. And I think a lot of people, I don't think it's intentional. I think it's just being aware. And that's the message. That's the message that we want to get out through Life Impact. And that's the message that Williams Marketing is trying to do. And that's why I'm so excited about partnering with nonprofit organizations like Churches Outreach Network and other nonprofit organizations in the community, because I think there's a responsibility as a pastor, Pastor Coles, to make sure your congregation is covered. I heard Martin Luther King say something a long time ago, and it made so much sense, is that a pastor should not only be concerned about the soul of a person, but they should be concerned about the conditions.
That's right.
That impact that person.
And it's so fun that you said that, because I read a lot of his quotes, and I remember him saying, and that was one of my part of saying that it's not about the four walls. It's about really touching the people. And I look at an example that Jesus did. You know, I mean, if you ask him what was his church address or what was the name of his church, it was beyond the people. And I remember that he was more of touching the people, and that is, and when I see you, and I know that a lot of things you're doing, that's why we want the community to know what you're doing. You have been touching people doing Life Impact, because Ms. Wynn, I do know, and I say it out, I got to ask the question, you help with training. Do you do training for these people?
Yes, we do.
So
Yes, we do. I do want to mention that we think this message is so important, and what we're willing to do, we partner with nonprofits, we partner with organizations, we'll partner with anybody in the community to come on board. We'll train you to become a life agent. We'll train you to become a health agent, because it's important to get this message out. And we'll cover the costs of your licensing. We'll bring you on board. We'll train you and mentor you to really get this message out. And outside of that, there's a potential of some very serious income as people are looking for a job. With coronavirus, a lot of people may have lost a job. This is a perfect opportunity to come on board, not only to create an income stream for you, but more importantly, to get this word out in our communities. And that's what I like about Churches Outreach Network, Pastor Coles. I've had people ask me, well, where's Churches Outreach Network located? Where's the church at? And I tell them it's in the community.
Amen.
You can go to Martin County, you can go to Belton, you can go to Greenville, you can go to anywhere in these organizations and see Churches Outreach Network is not in a building. It's in the services. It's in the impact in those communities. And that's why I'm excited about doing that, because if we can get into those networks and not only teach people to give people food, to give people hand sanitizer, to give people their basic needs, but to teach them how to change their financials, I truly believe that if we do that, we'll change generations. I've had situations where families have came to us, Pastor Coles, and we talked about budgeting, and the children are there, and now the children are part of our customer base, where they'll call them and say, Mr. Williams, you talked about the water hose. In one of our budgeting workshops, we talk about cash flow. And the best way we can explain cash flow, if you can imagine being out in the backyard and you turn the water hose on and you're going out to the garden and water your hose, water the garden. And once you get to the end of the hose, there's no water coming out. And you look back and say, is the spigot or the hose on? There's no water coming out. What's the first thing you do? You start walking backwards through that hose, and you're realizing there are kinks in the hose. And as you open the kinks up in the water hose, the water starts flowing. Cash flow is the same thing, Pastor Cole. God blesses us with a seed. He gives that family a seed. What we do with it determines our results. Our cash flow is just like that water hose. And bills and debt are those kinks. So as we eliminate those bills, as we eliminate or reduce those expenses, Pastor Cole, the cash flow comes out the end just like the water. And even today, I've had children or parents that was part of that workshop that come back and say, Mr. Williams, tell them about the water hose. But that's making an impact. So I truly believe if we start changing families now, we'll change generations.
You know, a lot of people, and I thank God that I have a good wife, because she and I, we really look at our money, but way beyond. We, I know her for 12, since I was 12, so I don't want to give my age, And it's one of those things that my wife and I, we always look at as finance and how we do this and how we do that. And everything got to be first in line up with God. That's true. We got to pick God first. And I'm glad that you mentioned about the cash flow. Yeah. Because there's a lot of people, they be buying stuff from Fingerhut or Aaron's or Rent-A-Center. I'm not saying not to buy. I'm not trying to knock them off. But I'm just saying, you got to understand how you spend your money and how you use your money. Yeah. Do you shop for the right gas? I mean, there's an app to show you what gas. Yes. I'll go there. I get gas. Get the right gas. And then my wife, she's a coupon head. She loves coupons and looking at that. And there's so many things called Honey. You can find out get cheaper or Retail Me Not coupon. If you don't. God said in the Bible, if you a good steward of few, He'll give you much more. True. Mr. Williams. True. And that's the key of understanding money and cash flows and budgets. Understand that getting the right health insurance or looking at something that you can pay for, this is going to be paid for, and they're going to pitch you this a program. They don't even know the program you have. And I will say this, I can't call people names out without consent, but you have helped so many nonprofits, and they are very successful in doing this. And helping others, and what they do is pass it on to other people with the training that you're doing with them. And there's come along, even with the health grant, there's little health grants for churches that you connect us with, and we bring it through the North Carolina Council of Churches with them, that they could get a health grant without even having a 501(c)(3). So even working with that is a network of helping them with that. And the key point is, you're not charging them. It's free. And thank you for doing that, because you understand that's the rent you're paying for being here is free. And on top of that, you also help them paying for their license. Now, come on now. I done gave you this fish, potatoes, cornbread on the plate. Man, you gotta eat. I can't do no more.
That's all you can do.
The food in front of you.
Yeah, it's really about service. It's really about impacting people, Pastor Cole. You mentioned nonprofits. One of the biggest struggles with nonprofits, Pastor Cole, is just structure. They don't have the bookkeeping systems or the systems in place to make sure that things are operating properly. And if not, doing audits, they lose their designation. So you're so right. So right.
But Mr. Williams, I know that we're coming close out of time. We're going to need, if we can look at the cam, let them know they're going to need to know your name again, telephone number, email. How can they get in contact with you? Okay. You have been a blessing. I want to make sure they get it, and we'll close out.
Okay. Again, Pastor Cole, it's really been a pleasure. Robert Williams Marketing. We are located at 1206 South Evans Street. My telephone numbers are cell 252-531-5072. Office number is 252-227-4391. We are so interested in partnering with you to make a difference in our community. So, Pastor Coles, it's really been a blessing and a honor just working with you and being a part of your network.
Mr. Wayne, we thank you. As you listen to the broadcast, Wayne Marketing is helping nonprofits and those to get established and helping with insurance, budget, free training, paying for your license and everything. Please visit the website for the event. It's cun2015.org, and the event is April the 8th at 6 p.m. Please join on, and it's free. God bless, and we'll see you in the next broadcast.